Public Affairs in Germany. These are our guests, and they will be also introduced in a moment separately. Before that, I want to mention about my German university, which is the largest study program database, which means that you can find here study programs offered not only exclusively in English, like programs offered in Germany, not only exclusively in English, but it's also German taught study programs and language combination study programs as well. For example, most frequently it's English and German. It could be English and some other languages, even German and French, and so on and so forth. So anyways, whatever program you are searching for, you will find it in the study finder. And the study finder is very user-friendly, and I will show it to you how you can narrow down your search and why it's useful to check that out. Also, please feel free to check out our articles. These articles are very informative. They are written by internationals, which is additional plus because people who wrote those know the pain points, and we try to share some solutions or quick information which is really important for you with you. This applies especially for visa, scholarship, motivation letter, and living in Germany, and like all articles, but those we know that are most frequently checked and also asked for. The articles are even translated into different languages, so you can read them in your native one as well. And of course, the webinars. We have two groups of webinars, general and subject webinars. In general webinars, broader topics like applying to via uni-assist, scholarship, visa, and studying in Germany are presented. And in subject webinars, we have guest speakers from universities presenting their programs, and additionally even taking your questions, be it content related or application related. And this is our team. We are based in Hamburg, Germany, and we are counseling in different languages. Now, I introduce both of the speakers like in one go, and then they will have a joint presentation of two programs separately, but again, some touch points will be similar because they are from the one university. So today's programs are Public Affairs and Economics, Public Affairs and Democracy, and we have Professor Dr. Thomas Wein and Professor Dr. Tobias Lenz. Well, thank you very much for joining and also for the extra efforts you did for today's webinar.
To the Master Public Affairs and Economics. What is my agenda? My agenda is something about the final stage. We have done this with the video. What is the idea of the program? The schools, faculties, teaching staff, some about the curriculum, Erasmus exchange, admission requirements, career prospects, and some summary up informations. So we have new faculty since roughly 3 years, mostly exactly 3 years, School of Public Affairs, and with new topics, and especially with new research topics. And one research topic is about the idea of the evaluation of public programs econometrically, and this is the topic of this master program. We have international orientation of the school and the program, and therefore we have because of the research orientation, we have strong methodological training, and therefore it was clear that we can establish a Master of Science. The school or the study program is presented by different schools: the School of Public Affairs, International Institute of Economics, my part, Institute of Political Science, the part of Tobias Lenz, but also from the School of Management and Technology and the School of Sustainability. Economics, we have at the moment 5 professors. We hope to will have a new professor in a half a year. 𝘱𝘢𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘵, he is professor for empirical microeconomics, especially for behavioral economics. Louise Gorges, he is at the moment at a parental leave. Also microeconomics, Boris Hirsch, microeconomics and policy evaluation. He is very important for the methods. Christian Pfeiffer, professor of applied microeconomics, and my part is economic policy, and the professorship which will be established in a half year will be about macroeconomic policy. We have a strong work together with the political science colleagues Sarah Engler, David Friedrich, Natascha Zaun, Astrid Civil, again Tobias Lenz, and Christian Welzel. Here you see the curriculum. This is important, and therefore I would like to go by them step by step. We have, as is usual at our university, a 4-semester master program in some 120 credit points. We have courses in the first semester, second semester, third semester, and in the last semester, fourth semester, the main topic is to write the master thesis, and only one course will be provided, the master forum, with 5 credit points. The master thesis counts for 25 credit points. We start with public affairs integration models, quantitative methods, which are the same for the public affairs and economics and public affairs of democracy. And we have 10 credit points module, advanced economic theory. It's advanced economic theory. We have one course about microeconomics, and the other course is about macroeconomics, together with one final exam. And then you can choose profiles, and this is important. You can choose a profile in finance studies, political studies, and sustainability studies. It's not necessary to decide this at the beginning. If you are coming, you can decide in the first semester, but then it's a decision for the following semesters. And the second and the last point is also in all 3 semesters, 1, 2, and 3, is the complementary studies with 3 models: engaging with knowledge and sciences, reflecting on research methods, connecting science, responsibility, and society. These complementary studies models are provided for all master students in the graduate school. They are not separated between the different study programs in the graduate school. Then we continue with public affairs integration models with qualitative methods and experimental models to 5 credit points modules. Then you have the opportunity to choose between different electives in the second semester related to economics. And then in the third semester, we have 3 economic courses: empirical labor and personal economics, international economic policy, and the course about behavioral public economics. And you can choose additionally an elective course. The profile I have mentioned is about finance studies. These are 3 courses offered by the School of Management and Technology. Then the political science is coming from our political science colleagues from the School of Public Affairs. And the third profile is sustainability studies, 3 courses offered by the School of Sustainability. In the last year, most of our students have chosen this profile. Nearly all, but perhaps it will be different this year. You see here we are thinking that methods are important. You see again here the quantitative methods with 10 credit points, qualitative methods with 5, and experimental methods with 5. This is something perhaps new, and usually in economics we have only quantitative methods courses. But we see that it's necessary also for research questions to extend the method capacities of our students, and therefore we have decided to introduce qualitative methods. It's a nice bridge to our colleagues in political science, and because of our research orientation, also experimental methods are relevant for our master program. In the second semester, we have three courses: comparative and international political economy, environmental economics, and public finance and public policy as electives. And in the third semester, we have two electives between replication studies coming from the economic part, Christian Pfeiffer, and security policy in a globally comparative perspective. The master thesis will last 5 months, and the master form is the idea to help students to write a master thesis, to have an exchange with other participants in this phase, to receive guidance from one lecture for the conception, planning, and organization of the master thesis. The complementary studies is, if I mentioned, is a program or a part of the program which is common for all students in a graduate school, which are with the three models. We have exchange programs for politics and economics, Switzerland, Turkey, and Italy, but we have also opportunity that you can go as a freelancer. We try to accept nearly all courses which are related to the program, and the idea is, if you go to a foreign university, the best choice is to do this in the third semester. Very important is the question of the admission requirements. Perhaps the most question which is in the moment relevant. We say you need a bachelor degree, and you have to show that you have 60 credit points in economics or related disciplines, political science, sustainability, business administration, for example. But also quantitative mathematics, we also accept. From these 60 credit points are important that you have therefore 10 credit points in microeconomics, 10 credit points in macroeconomics, and 10 credit points in statistics or econometrics. The last 30 credit points can be coming from economics, fine, business administration, also fine, finance, math, political science, statistics, or sustainability. From last year, I could say the relevant hurdle was, do you have enough in microeconomics and macroeconomics? 10 in microeconomics and 10 in macroeconomics. This is an important point because then it's possible to follow the course in advanced economic theory. And if you have questions to this point about the bachelor, about these credit points in macroeconomics, don't hesitate to send me an email. Then I can give you personal advice in this point. The degree program is science-based, usually, or is clearly interdisciplinary, and important is problem-oriented academic training. And we see a lot of fields in which you can work in the political administrative sector, in the economy, but also in academic research. Here you can see here in all 120 credit points, 2 years. The course language is in English, and you see here the application deadline from 1st April to 1st June for European applicants, and for non-European applicants, it's the 1st May, which is end. We start in 1st October, and which is new, not regarded in the place. We have at the moment not only 25, we have 30 places. Okay, this was my presentation. Thank you very much. You can see here the contact information. As I mentioned, if you have questions about a requirement for admission, don't hesitate to send me an email. Thank you very much.
Okay, wonderful. Then I'm going to take over and share a similar presentation of the political science side of this. Tobias Lenz is my name, Professor of International Relations and Director of this program on Public Affairs and Democracy. The program very much revolves around the idea of democracy, which is still, despite some setbacks, one could say, the most prominent form of government, popular form of government, since the 1980s, 1990s. But it's a continuous work in progress and is increasingly under pressure. And we at Leuphana, as part of the Center for the Study of Democracy, are dedicated to researching the way in which democracy evolves, the conditions under which it functions, and how it interacts with other parts of society, such as the economy, sustainability, the legal system, and so on. There is 3 core features that distinguish our program in public affairs and democracy from that of others. The first one is that it has a substantive focus on democracy worldwide. That is, we do not exclusively focus on democracy as many other programs do in the global north, Europe and, say, North America primarily, but including democracy in the global south. There is a strong emphasis on methods, as we've already heard, which is why this is a Master of Science and not a Master's of Arts. And then we're putting stock on a pluralism or plural perspectives on the topic of democracy. So you're exposed to a range of perspectives on how to think about democracy, both analytically and normatively, as part of the program. 3 schools or institutions carry this program. The primary one is the School of Public Affairs. Both are colleagues from economics and political science. There's some involvement from the School of Sustainability, as I'll say a little bit more about this in a moment. And then we cooperate quite closely with the German Institute for Global and Area Studies, which is carrying much of the global south side of this program, located in Hamburg. The benefit of cooperating with the GIGA in Hamburg is not just that they teach in our program, bring in kind of a global south perspective to the issue of democracy, but they also offer things like internship, research assistantships, and so on for students at Leuphana University. And there's quite a few of our students who've done internships at the GIGA, say in between the 1st and the 2nd year. Here you see some of the teaching staff in the program. At the Institute of Political Science, I should say that we've ranked very well in some of the recent university rankings, worldwide university rankings. The most recent one is the academic ranking of world universities, where we ranked 3rd in Germany and among the 75 best political science departments worldwide. A feat that we're quite proud of. We offer a broad range of issues, as I'll come back to in a moment, reaching from international relations to domestic politics, comparative politics, as well as political theory and public policy. Here are the 2 colleagues from the GIGA, as I've mentioned, that contribute to the core teaching in this program and deal with democracy in the Global South. I'll say a little bit more about this in a moment. And here are some of the colleagues from the Institute of Economics who are relevant to our program as they teach parts of the method modules, as well as electives that you can choose in your second and third semester in order to create or generate your own unique study profile. And here you see colleagues from sustainability who are also involved in this. This is the curriculum as you find it on the website as well. It's a study program of, similar to economics, 120 credits distributed over 4 semesters. The 4th semester is dedicated to writing a master's thesis, whereas the other 3 are kind of taught semesters. There's kind of 4 broad parts as you see here. The blue part in the bottom left corner, 1st and 2nd semester, focuses on methods. I'll say a bit more about that in a moment. Then we have the green part, which is the core substantive focus of the program. We've got some opportunities for electives, the light gray, in the 2nd and 3rd semester, as well as the complementary studies, which Thomas Wein has already introduced. A few words on the green, the light green kind of core things. As you see here, we're covering a range of issues in IR, comparative politics, institutions of democracy. We also join forces with our colleagues from sustainability to introduce you to sustainability governance. And then we have courses that focus on accountability and participation in the Global South, including kind of a public policy course in the 3rd semester on climate governance in selected countries of the Global South. Okay. You've already seen this slide, the methods training, quantitative methods intensively in the 1st semesters, 10 CP. That's a lecture plus an accompanying practice or tutorial, you could say, that trains you how to use stata, which is a statistics program. And then you get sound substantive training both in qualitative methods and experimental methods as well in the 2nd semester. All of these methods courses are taught jointly for the Public Affairs and Democracy and Public Affairs and Economics masters. As for the electives, this is the range that we definitely offer each term. There is additional electives that we generally offer or often offer that go beyond this, but that are not part of the curriculum in the sense that we offer them for sure every summer, every winter semester. Okay. And you have an opportunity to focus on economic issues, on kind of comparative political issues, as well as issues of sustainability, as you see here. Complementary studies, Thomas Wein already introduced this. This is something that is jointly done for students, master students across the entire university. The idea is that kind of learning starts once you leave your comfort zone. That is your disciplinary program of study. And you peek into areas related, but not centered in your own respective disciplinary study. So you'll be sitting in complementary study seminars together with students in other MA programs from across the university. That is from cultural studies all the way to sustainability, law, and so on. And the range of subjects that you can take here as part of the complementary studies. You take 1 course in complementary studies throughout the first 3 semesters, range from feminist social science methods all the way to electrification in the Global South, river management in different parts of the world, as well as courses on research design, right? So you're really looking at a broad range of opportunities here to specify your specific study focus or and take courses that might interest you, but which are not necessarily an integral part of your MA program. So much for the curriculum and the substance of the course. Here you see some of the exchange programs that we have. As Thomas already said, the best semester to go abroad is generally the third one, so the semester before you write your master's thesis. We are currently in the process of trying to expand our partner universities, including universities from the Global South. We're negotiating with the South African University at the moment, a Latin American university, and university in Asia as well. So opportunities to go abroad to different parts of the world should increase over the next year. As for entry requirements, they're somewhat similar to the economics program. The requirement is for 60 credit points in political science or related disciplines. And again, I'm offering to do a quick we offer some advice on whether you might be able to, or whether your specific studies would meet the requirements that we have in terms of political science or related disciplines. We're expecting, as part of our experience from the first year, at least one course that you should have taken in quantitative methods. And since it's an English-speaking program, we require proof of English language skills at the level C1. So if you've got questions regarding requirements and whether you meet requirements, please do follow up via email. The career prospects are really similar across the various public affairs programs and do include three broad, say, social realms: the political administrative sector, the private sector, private economic sector, and academic research. One might add here also journalism, which some of our students have gone into. Since you're being trained interdisciplinarily, as it were, you can access a range of fields after your studies, and we believe that the fairly strong focus on methods, Master of Science, does help you not just if you're pursuing an academic career, but also if you're moving into many of these sectors. So methods are bound to become more relevant as more and more data becomes available with the AI revolution and so on, right? So you're not looking at one specific career path really, but our students have traditionally gone into a whole range of fields that the program prepares you for. All right, you see here the general overview. The deadlines are the same for the democracy and economics programs. 1st of May for non-EU students, right? So that's what, another 4 weeks ahead, 5, 4, and then EU students have a month longer to apply. The application portal is open already as of 1st of April, and the official starting date of the program is always 1st of October. 25 places, exceptionally 30 places this year. We had around 100 applications last year, so we're looking at some competition for applicants, but chances are, if you're really interested in put together a strong application, that you stand a good chance of being admitted. And here we'll make those available through the My German University website. You'll have the contact details if you're interested in getting in touch, either academic side of issues, that's Natasha Zaun and myself, or more administrative questions, questions about admission and so on. You can contact the program coordinator, Elena Kopačeva. And we're looking forward to your questions now.
Great. Thank you very much to both of you for nice presentations. I still believe there was an issue with video because at least one person said that it was lagging back for him or her. I don't know, it was anonymous attendee. But the link to the video is all still in chat. So in case you want to rewatch it, feel free to open it and you can, so YouTube link is right, the very first link in chat. Great. So dear applicants, potential applicants, the program page is also in chat info, as it was mentioned by professors. Our contact details are everything is there. And additionally, I wrote the UniAssist in case you need to apply via UniAssist, or you need to apply via UniAssist for these programs. Therefore, the articles and also webinar about UniAssist or how to register there, how to upload documents, everything is also already in chat. So have a look if you need, if you want. Otherwise, I will also remind you of that in a follow-up email. So let's start then now with the questions. And dear professors, you can both answer all of them because I think they could be related, and let's go one by one. Thesis should be a desk research or done as a part of internship. Thank you. Professor Lenz, do you want to start?
Sure. The thesis is generally not part of an internship. There are in exceptional circumstances in our field. Economics might be different. There are in exceptional instances or opportunities to do it as part of an internship if that really fits the topic of the thesis that the student is planning to do. We've had such cases in the past, but it's not the general rule. So most students will write a piece of desk research, and that does involve, in some cases, for the more ambitious students generally, some kind of field work or interviews or things like that, archival research, whatever it might be.
Thank
The
you.
principle for economics is in principle the same. It's not so like it's typically in business administration. In economics, it's clearly a desk research part, and therefore graduation and so on is only done by university. But if you are interested, if you like to combine your internship experience with the academic topic, this would be nice. But at the end, the quality of the paper, the quality of the master thesis is an academic question and not so much an internship question and so on. But in the past, I would say there is no problem. Sometimes we have found a nice combination, and therefore we have some examples, but a lot of them are not related to an internship.
Thank you. Just as a follow-up, it's not part of this question, but maybe somebody is also wondering out there. As both of you mentioned the research orientation, I guess there will be, or are there any restrictions about quantitative or qualitative thesis? Is it a choice, or do you have some recommendations in this regard?
In political science, it's definitely both. And maybe including a third type of method, namely experimental research. Yeah, it's fairly equally distributed across qualitative and quantitative with an increasing number of experimental as well. But that's up to students to decide.
Up to
In economics, I would say the normal case is quantitative. But sometimes it's nice to combine this, to make an empirical quantitative work and then to test, for example, the main results in a qualitative way by asking experts and so on. This is, I would say, the gold standard. But very often it's quantitatively oriented.
Thank you. The next two questions are about the how you accept students, because you mentioned limited seats available and also many applicants wanting to apply. So I read both of them as it's written, and then you could elaborate more. As an additional document, can I submit recommendation from professor or show the publication? I'm asking this because you have limited seats and probably look at transcript when deciding who to take. Therefore, I need to strengthen my application. And a similar question is, I imagine you have more than 30 applications per cohort. How do you choose the applicants? What are the decisive criteria? Professor Letts or Professor Reiner?
Sure, I actually think the criteria are very similar. The majority, or the most weight is given to GPAs, grade point averages, your grades. But then there is, and I don't know the exact percentage, maybe you know, Thomas, something like 30% of the final points that you receive, about a third, I think, are additional things that you've done. So we do count internships, years in practice, jobs that you've done. Additional complements are kind of go into that. So if you have publications, by all means, to include that in your application. That'll strengthen your application. So it's grade plus additional achievements, which can include a whole range of things that you direct us towards, that you think will strengthen your application, that we then assess.
The point is that the question of acceptance is done by the official part of the university. Means there we have a strong formal way to do this. And certainly the grades are mainly important. And then it's written in the rules what other aspects are relevant. But it depends how many applications we have. If we have, for example, if we have at all 500 applications, then we can apply these additional criteria. If we have, for example, in economics, like last year, we have at the end I have 70 applications and so on. Then, from our experience, it was clear that certainly not all 70 applications will really come, and therefore it's not necessary to make ranks between the different applications. The main point is more the question about the courses in methods and micro and macroeconomics. This is our decisive point. And at the moment, we as the academic part are only controlling the micro and macro and qualitative methods courses. The other will be done by the office, not by us. This is really, we are in Germany. We have a strong rules how these applications will be evaluated and decided.
Yeah, thank you. And dear potential students, when you come to Germany, you will be used to the bureaucracy and following regulations. So then probably you will also have the same things in your daily life. So maybe it sounds a bit strange now, but promise me you will get used to it. All right, the next question is, Master's Forum is like a colloquium preparation for the thesis. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
There is, maybe I can add a sentence here. There's essentially two things that are supposed to prepare you. I didn't specifically mention that in my presentation. We've got what we call a research seminar in the third semester, which is kind of an independent research project that students conduct using whatever methods they choose. And some students use that then to build off for their master's thesis, expand that. That's in preparation for the master's thesis. The colloquium happens in parallel to the actual writing process of the master's thesis and is intended to help you move forward, as it were, in the writing itself. So the colloquium, at least as we do it, is primarily presentation of students of their ongoing projects and receiving feedback both from peers as well as professors on these projects.
Thank you. The next two questions are about the methods. The first one is, what is the expected level of methods knowledge of incoming students? I think for the democracy part, it was mentioned at one course at least of
In
methodology.
quantitative.
So do you expect them to have any specific, or do you check it, or do you test it, or?
Right. I mean, what I can say is that it's helpful. Let's put it that way. It's helpful if you've taken some methods courses during your BA. On the quantitative side, we explicitly require by now to have taken at least one course. That emanates from the experience we had with our quantitative methods course, which some students who had never taken any statistics before struggled with. The quantitative methods course does kind of repeat quite a bit of the basic material in the first few weeks, but that repetition is very quick. And so after 3-4 weeks, you really start delving into, say, more advanced quantitative methods. And so it's useful if you've got some basic knowledge. In fact, we're also planning now for this winter semester a preparatory statistics course. I didn't mention that. Before the start of the semester, a 1-week intensive repetition course of the basics that you need in order to be able to follow the quantitative methods. The qualitative methods course I'm teaching myself, we're not really requiring much. It's basically a course that's very systematic about the range of methods, but doesn't require much in terms of previous knowledge.
Well, economics is a little bit different. Clearly, because the methods course are identical between both programs, in principle, you have the same conditions, but we should also see that it's necessary to have methods knowledge for the economic courses, and therefore it's clear that the typical courses, typical knowledge should be given as it is usual in microeconomics and macroeconomics in the bachelor program. For example, calculation differentials is certainly important. Lagrange multiplier is certainly important. As you all know from what is typical and usual on the world in economic courses, we are also expecting this, and this is important to have this because then you can follow the advanced microeconomic courses. We will further on, or we have done this last year, we will extend this. We will present on the homepage special lists and special hints about what should be what we expect, what should be known from the students for microeconomics and macroeconomics before starting advanced economic theory. And then we give also some literature hints. These are the typical textbooks which are used in economics. Pindai-Grubenfeld, for example, in microeconomics and so on. Therefore, it's not only the question of the methods, statistics, and mathematics. It's also relevant for the main courses.
Thank you very much. And the last question for today is there an opportunity to choose a different quantitative software instead of Stata?
Oh, I don't think it's possible in the method course, but I'm certainly sure that in the complementary studies are opportunities to use other programs, other mathematical statistic programs, if you would like to do this.
Mhm.
And for our methods courses, we have decided to use Stata. It's also a question of infrastructure. We should have enough licenses for this program and so on. And therefore, the course will be in quantitative models will be certainly based only on Stata. But if you would like to learn other programs, then there are some opportunities.
And maybe I can add that I do know in political science, students who write their thesis with the help of quantitative data and methods often use R. It's cheaper for students. That's the other big program. So you're certainly free to do that, to use others. But in that course that Thomas Bein mentioned, quantitative methods, we use Stata and provide the necessary licenses to students. So nobody will have to actually buy the program we provided.
Great. Thank you.